We're largely SaaS. We're without massive technical debt. We're really AI ready, and our competitors are generally not ready. And so we're able to jump in on this where others will have to go and do a lot of remediation before they can apply something like Dexibit to their business. So we think it's going to really propel Accesso forward into what is the next wave of innovation.
Now you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by Accesso CEO Steve Brown. Steve, very good to speak with you. You're calling Dexibit a step change. Where does Accesso stand on AI, and how quickly can this translate into meaningful revenue growth for the company?
Certainly. Well, there's a lot of talk about AI these days, and we've tried to cut through all the noise and think about the bigger long-term strategy. Accesso sits in a really good place. We're not seat-based licenses. We have very proprietary data. We're deeply ingrained to our customers. We're actually in a lower risk sector in terms of AI. We actually think AI makes Accesso better, not more vulnerable. So we're really excited actually about the capabilities. And, we'll of course be adding AI into our products. That goes without saying, and into our workflows. We're already doing all of that. But we stepped back and said, what can really make a difference to the operators? How can we help them improve their business? And we realized, that there are so many silos of data that everyone deals with that the brain cannot possibly process contextually together. And that's what Dexibit does. It brings all those systems together. Ours will be part of that ecosystem, but there might be a finance system or their website analytics. It might be external data on weather. And it contextualizes all of that and provides, importantly, conversational insights. So data is typically locked up with a data analyst, someone who's really good with databases or Excel spreadsheets. What this does allows any operator at any level, at any part of the organization, to speak and get a response back that answers their question. So it really opens up the leverage across the whole organization, not just the finance team or the business planning team. So we think this is a leapfrog opportunity, as we say, for Accesso in the industry.
How smoothly do you think the integration will be, Steve?
I think it'll be very smooth. Dexibit is a pro at this. They already come in to the Accesso with 100 integrations already under their belt. They're quite adept at making those integrations into different products. And our first priority will be, to get Dexibit incorporated across our products. It's already in one, almost in two, where we are today. And they'll have those, I think, in short order connected to all of our systems. And, it'll be a really powerful ecosystem that we can offer, whether you're using one product from Accesso, multiple products from Accesso. The important thing is we bring that plus everything else together with what is now Accesso Intelligence.
So Dexibit still near break even. What's the timeline to profitability, and how scalable is that software as a service model?
Yeah, we don't look at Dexibit as a line item, really. We're thinking about this in the broader context of the business in terms of retention of customers by giving them even more value from their products and their relationship. And second, from winning new business. This is a key differentiator. And one of the reasons we acquired Dexibit instead of trying to build this ourselves is we know it will take years to do this again, like they spent years building it. Any of our competitors, even if they started today, they're years away from having a product like this. And I'll make one other note here. Accesso has, often been, criticized or critiqued for the level of R&D spend. But what that's done is kept us current. We're largely SaaS. We're without massive technical debt. We're really AI ready, and our competitors are generally not ready. And so we're able to jump in on this where others will have to go and do a lot of remediation before they can apply something like Dexibit to their business. So we think it's going to really propel Accesso forward into what is the next wave of innovation.
Turning to your 2025 annual results, Steve, they were also out today. Growth was modest despite strong wins. What needs to change to re-accelerate top line growth in 2026?
That is certainly part of the catalyst behind not just the acquisition of Dexibit, but across our payments integration that we also announced, and a couple of big product innovations we have going around commerce. So, we need to see the top line revenue increase something in that 7 to 9% range, which is probably where we should be at our scale and the industries that we serve, and continued improvement on our margin, which more revenue, through lower cost. You can see we made some good moves this year in terms of cost management, and AI will continue to enable that across the organization. So I think we'll see, revenue increasing, cost continuing to decrease. That in turn obviously gives us a better margin. Really staying ahead and providing that innovation is what we're known for. And the work we're doing both on our products individually, bringing payments in, and Dexibit, I think, is going to give us that extra kick that we need to really get, back into that growth track.
The Middle East is an important market for Accesso. What's the likely impact of the current conflict, and how are you addressing that, Steve?
Certainly, we have a couple of key projects there, and clearly, we're watching out for the well-being of everyone involved, our clients, our team. So far, things look good. They sort of seem to be operating as normal. From everything we can tell, Aquarabia, which is one of the large water parks that's adjacent to Qiddiya, or part of Qiddiya, I should say, actually opened. And so everything seems to be moving along. We're obviously, keeping our eye on the situation. We have another project that has, future deliverables that are expected in the year. All signs are that work is continuing. And so, we remain cautiously optimistic. All signs indicate things are going to continue moving from what we can tell, despite the unrest. But we're optimistic, and, it's really, it's not a matter of if they will happen, it's more of when. But all signs are indicating things are continuing to move as they were planned.
Steve, with your planned exit as CEO, how do you ensure momentum on strategy and also integration of Dexibit isn't disrupted?
Yeah, this has been a long considered succession plan. Lee was brought into the business at the beginning of last year. I had the opportunity to sort of pick my successor, and Lee has a vast amount of experience. He was the former CIO at Merlin, where I worked with him as a client, and now he's been the COO with us for over a year. He's well embedded in the business. He is already our momentum, to be honest. He is helping us with our strategies. He's helping drive our strategies. He is very AI forward. And I see nothing but continued progress and absolutely zero disruption or continuity issue with the way we've approached this from a planning perspective.
Well, Steve, I hope we'll get a chance to speak to you before you go. Thank you very much for the time today.
It's nice to speak as always. Thank you so much.
Steve Brown, the CEO of Accesso.